We're delighted to have this wonderful panel here with us tonight for the third Moving Forward Forum presented by New Pioneers for a Sustainable Future. This series of quarterly forums is designed to bring together different segments of our county community to look together at what contribution can our particular segment, our professional group, our business people, our educators, what can we do together to create a more sustainable rural community here in Washington County and in our surrounding area. So tonight the topic is the role of healthcare providers in creating a sustainable rural community. And we're blessed to have with us tonight Dr. Delwyn Lofney, chiropractor at the Springfield Chiropractic Clinic here in Springfield. Dr. Ann Harrison, who is the head of the Division of Physical Therapy at the University of Kentucky Health Sciences.
Well said.
College of Health Sciences. And Dr. Jonas Hurley, who is a family practitioner at the Family Medical Center in Bardstown. So we have the traditional physician, we have the alternative health modality of chiropractic, and we have the practitioner and educator of physical therapy. We're deliberately trying to say that the field of healthcare is a very broad and wide field. There are many others who could have been with us for this panel tonight, but because of space, we're limited to 3. So we welcome each one of you here tonight. We're going to ask you to project your voices because we don't have a microphone. We'll give each of you 10 minutes to share your own perspectives on how do you see the question of creating a more sustainable rural community from your professional perspective. And then we'll have 15 minutes for you to have a conversation among the 3 of you. And then we'll invite everybody to join the conversation. Sound like a plan? All right. Dr. Delwyn Lofney, would you like to go first?
I'd love to. Thank you very much. As I said, my name is Dr. Delwyn Lofney, a chiropractor. I've grown up in many different places. My wife and I settled here just less than a year ago, and we're happy to be here. To give a little background about myself, my parents, well, I'm number 7 out of 11 kids. My parents have always been interested in health. And I remember years ago, they went and started a program we called Green Drink. They went to the garden, anything green, went into the blender with some type of juice, and we drink that. Sometimes it's kind of lumpy, but it was always a good thing. I remember one house we lived in for a while that we had about an acre of garden. I hated gardening it, I hated weeding it, but I enjoyed all the good food that came out of it. We'd bottle it and it'd last most of the winter. So I've been interested in people's health for many, many years. And that's one thing that drew me to chiropractic, is that it gives me the chance to help people with their health. And I have found it very rewarding. Now, as for helping to build a sustainable community, there's a number of different things that have come to my mind about how I can help. The most common thing I run across in my office is that people, well, most of them have problems with their health, especially with their diets. That is one area that I have tried really hard to try to educate my patients. The American diet is not very good, to say the least, but when it's cheaper or easier to buy a 99-cent hamburger compared to a $4.99 salad, it's understandable why our health is having some problems here in the U.S. So I do counsel a lot of my patients on their diet. Of course, most of them aren't ready to hear it, but when they are, I'm there to help teach them. I remember one of my teachers in school told me that the title doctor actually translates to mean teacher, and that's what I've tried to do in my practice, is to be a teacher. Other things I do in my practice is talk about exercise and things that the patients can do on their own that they don't have to come see me for. And they all help. But if they don't do it, it's not going to help. So it's hard sometimes to give people a motivation, because in American society today, they all want appeal to do whatever they need done without them having to have any effort in it. So that's one thing that I have found in my practice. Another area that I have found recently is because the new government guidelines with documentation requirements and electronic billing, we have had to add in a new program which I have to enter in all the drugs my patients take. I can't prescribe drugs, but I still have to record their drugs. And so far, in the last couple of weeks of using the program, I've had 4 patients come up that they're taking drugs that have bad interactions. And I've had to notify them and let them know. So that's another avenue that I'm taking in my office to help people become healthier, is by making sure I catch those things that I can catch. And of course the government's mandating this, so it's kind of nice that we're doing it. Another thing that we're doing in the office is, along with educating, is I'm trying to become healthier myself. It's a battle over the last couple of years that I've gained a little bit of weight. But my wife is a good cook, and I really enjoy her food. So that's one thing I've worked on, is myself. Because if I can't do it for myself, it's hard to teach the patients that. And chiropractic is a field where everything I do is hands-on. I do a lot of what's known as manipulations, trying to get the bones moving, the joints moving, and therefore allowing the nerves and muscles to react and do what they're supposed to do. I remember seeing x-rays on a patient recently that they were fairly young, but their spine looked very old. He'd had a few accidents and had abused his spine pretty good. Someone who's 30 years old, that's not a good-looking thing to see, but we're helping them. The other day also an older person came in, and their spine looked better than the 30-year-old spine did, because they took better care of themselves. So that's something that need to educate the patients and help them to be healthier. There's a lot of resources out there, and a lot of, I like to say, disinformation when it comes to health and nutrition. If you just do a search for nutrition products on the market, there's hundreds and hundreds of them. And some of the research is shoddy, and some of the research is not too bad, but it could be better. And so it's something that I try to keep up on so I can teach the patients to read the labels and to improve on. And when I help the patients be healthier, then they can live healthier, happier, and more productive lives. And so that's what I try to do.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lafney. Dr. Hurley?
Well, great. I'm next. I'm Jonas Hurley, and I'm a family doctor in Bardstown. I live about 2 miles that way, on a little 17-acre farm. I do some ER work on the side here and there, a decent bit in Taylor County, some in Breckenridge, Casey, Monroe counties as well. So I've got a little sampling of many different communities around here, and I don't know, one of the things that I want to say to a lot of folks, and I don't even remember who I'm I'm stealing this quote from is trust your farmer, not your pharmacy. And that is true on so many levels. When you see kids in particular, I think Kentucky's raising a lost generation of 20-somethings in these rural communities where industry's largely dried up. Agriculture's been taken over by very large farms, and these kids just don't have anything to do. No reason to get up in the morning, and talking to young kids, 20, 22, I'll ask them, the kids you graduated high school with, what percentage are not on something real bad? Coke, meth, strong opiates. And they all tell me about the same thing, not many. And you see the overdoses, and you have the people come into your office, scamming for various narcotics, and these kids are just kind of lost without anything to do. And I think that the one kind of avenue that they'd have to try to find their way back to some kind of healthy life, physically, emotionally, spiritually, would be to try to get back to the land. We still have the land, we still got plenty of sun, we still need food, but there just is some kind of obstacle that just won't or isn't seeming to happen. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, died in 2007. She was 94, had her mind until 2 weeks before she died. Most of her life ate pork for at least 2 meals a day. As far as I know, never went to the gym or tasted olive oil. But she raised 5 kids on a small farm. They grew all their own pork, worked outside in the sun, plenty of exercise, plenty of loved ones around, plenty of good food, and had a rich, full, healthy life. And I think a return to more localized agriculture will help build stronger communities, healthier people, with less reliance on pharmaceuticals. Working out in the sun, you break a sweat. You don't need to buy a gym membership, and you're would be making a dent in the obesity, diabetes epidemics that we have now. So as far as what healthcare can do to build local communities, I'm not sure, given its very international, multinational status with the pharmaceutical industries and what they're offering to foster or prop up local communities. But I think local communities working there, people working on the land, making healthy food, raising healthy animals, I think that's where healthy, sustainable communities can be built. I mean, it just seems so strange to me that you have acres, miles and miles of fields with field corn that make a lot of families, well, a few families at least, a lot of money. But think about where that food's going or where that corn's going. Most of it's going to either make bourbon, which isn't all that great, in large doses, to feed animals or to feed cars, not to feed people. And then all the foods shipped in from Central South America, Florida, California, and you have lots and lots of folks looking for any kind of work here. And you end up with the lost generation of 20-somethings. So, I think just to return to kind of an agricultural system that was present 100 years ago, if anything, will help foster the health of the community, and people won't need me as much, and you won't see a lot of the health problems that you have now.